Thanks for tuning in to Airshow Sports. It's your boy Young Cantu coming at you with another video. Former unified heavyweight champion of the world, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr. just had knee surgery on Tuesday of this week and is hopeful for a return by the end of the year. Stay tuned.
It's the champ! Cantu! Where'd you find this?
The very popular Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr., former IBF, WBA, and WBO heavyweight champion of the world, just had knee surgery and is going to be out for a few months before he can make his ring return. According to an ESPN report, it says former heavyweight champion Ruiz underwent successful surgery on his right knee on Tuesday in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and is hopeful for a ring return in December. It also says here Ruiz was hoping to face Charles Martin in October, but decided to go for the surgery instead, saying that his surgery was something that he wanted to do for a while, as he's been having knee problems for the better part of the last 3 years. And basically Ruiz went to go get his knee probably scoped. That's probably what it is. They didn't get specific on the details of what was wrong with his knee. It is most likely not anything substantial like an ACL, but it could very well be some meniscus damage. And, you know, as somebody who's had 2 knee surgeries myself, you know, initially I went in for an ACL surgery because I tore my ACL, had a reconstruction surgery, and, you know, I want to say about a year later I had to go back because I had some more issues with my meniscus, so I got it basically scoped out. That's probably what Ruiz had done. But hey, knee injuries and knee issues, knee surgery, that's something you don't want to rush back from. So I'm going to be straight up. I don't think Ruiz is going to come back for a fight this year. You know, the article does say that he's hopeful for a December return, but if he's smart and his team's smart, they're not going to rush him back from this surgery. You know, they're going to want him to fully recover, get his strength back so that he could come back strong. And I anticipate Ruiz coming back for a fight, hopefully by spring 2022. So you're thinking about March, April, May time of next year, if he's smart. Now, I mean, what's next for Andy Ruiz? He's coming off a tough, rugged 12-round scrap against former 2-time heavyweight title challenger, veteran journeyman Chris Arreola, and that was a fight that a lot of people believe Ruiz would ease and take the victory with ease, but he actually was dropped in the second round by a right hand by Arreola, and for the better part of the early rounds, Arreola was really taking it to Ruiz. And this was a fight that I've been talking about for a few years. For it to actually happen was pretty interesting to see. And Ruiz was having trouble with Arreola. But Arreola had shown some defensive nuances that we hadn't seen his whole career in that fight. And I think he was motivated for that fight, whereas Ruiz needed to stay busy fight. So it was kind of one of those fights where, you know, a guy's motivated, the other guy's coming in just trying to stay busy, and it turns out to be, you know, a lot more than he could handle. But Ruiz did handle it. He started getting back on his jab. He started boxing nicely, you know, from round 6 on, and he deserved the decision. I thought the scorecards were a little bit wide, but Ruiz won a unanimous decision over Arreola in a fight that was tougher than a lot of people expected. Now, as soon as Ruiz, you know, recovers from this knee surgery, he's got a lot of options, man. And he's a guy who's cultivated a lot of popularity ever since capturing the title. You know, I remember Andy Ruiz when he only had 3,000 followers on IG, and I was talking about him then. And I knew the potential he had. But I'm going to be real. I didn't think he was going to be Anthony Joshua. You know, I was hopeful he would. But he did everything he said he was going to do. You know, he took it to him. He fought Joshua. Not scared. He took it straight to the man and bullied the bully and knocked him out, knocked him down, knocked him out. You know, a lot of different fights on the horizon. You got a potential fight against Luis Ortiz, Cuban southpaw who's only had 2 defeats, both against Deontay Wilder, but is a top echelon fighter in the later portion of his career, but still a dangerous fighter that a lot of people are ducking. Anthony Joshua hasn't fought Luis Ortiz. Tyson Fury hasn't fought Luis Ortiz, and that's not by accident. You got Charles Martin, who was also mentioned in this article, another strong southpaw who's on the rise, who fought for the title against Anthony Joshua, lost in the second round, but he's kind of revitalized his career as he's coming off a knockout win over Gerald Washington. That's another good fight. But I do know that Andy Ruiz and Charles Martin are somewhat of friends. They've sparred in the past. They've worked under the same trainers. So it's a business. I think they could make that fight happen, but I don't see that fight being the next fight for Ruiz. I think he either takes on Luis Ortiz, or there's also a potential fight against Dillian White, the British fighter under Matchroom. And there's plenty of journeymen out there. There's plenty of other heavyweights in the PBC stable that he can get in the ring with, such as the winner of Adam Kalnatsky against Helenius. He could take the winner of that fight, which is slated to fight on the undercard of Wilder and Fury. Ruiz has also put himself in a position to eventually become a mandatory challenger for the WBC title. So, the winner of Wilder Fury, if that fight happens, all the craziness with Fury going on, he's going to be in the mix next year. So he's just got to rehab. He's got to take care of himself. And as soon as his knee is of comparable level to start conditioning and start getting back in the mix, he's got to, because we know that once Andy Ruiz gets out of the gym for a few months, it's going to be hard for him to kind of, get it back going again. He's a guy that needs to stay with it. He's with Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer now. And, there's still a lot of people that believe in Ruiz, but it's all up to him. And I think this is a good thing that he got this surgery taken care of, because you don't want to be going in the ring with one leg. You want to be 100%. So, hey, he gets the knee surgery. He's got to rehab. He's got to get back right. And I expect Andy Ruiz to come back in a fight sometime in spring of 2022. Stay tuned.